Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And she's not very happy with me.
He made me do a test before we started this to mess with the gain to make sure I didn't blow the speakers out with my voice.
I'm sorry. I have settings on the mic, and I have what I call the Geeky dot.
He just showed me this. He has a dot in the back where he has to set things by to make sure it doesn't go too loud because of my voice.
I turn the gain down when we record, because sometimes she yells and I don't.
So when you record by yourself, you turn it up?
When I record by myself, I use the other mic.
Oh. Do you have a neon dot?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. Because I'm monotone most of the time. Anyway.
Okay.
Oh no, she just found out the secret. I've only been doing this for like 2 years.
Not the turning me down thing.
Well, because the acoustics in the studio. Anyway. This video is about Star Wars and whether or not fans can forgive Lucasfilm for past transgressions and whether or not they're willing to give Lucasfilm another chance going forward. Now, we're not going to get into spoilers yet, just so you know. There will be spoilers for the last episode of Mandalorian Season 2.
If you didn't hear it already, then, you shouldn't be on the internet until after you watched it.
Right. So we'll talk about some other stuff before we come back to that. So we're giving you a chance to get out right now. So before we get into it, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, we're over 160,000 subs.
Yay! Oh, am I too loud? Woo. Yay!
And also go out to shopclownfish.com. We've only got 3 days left.
3.5 days.
3.5 days left on these pins. There's not as much of a sense of urgency if we say 3.5 days. Buy now. No, seriously, it's if you don't get them, you might not get them.
Yeah, because they might have some extras. We sometimes order some extras, but can't
There's
promise.
no guarantee. There's no guarantee. So shopclownfish.com. I'm going to put a link in the comments section. You can check that out. That is the best way currently to support us because we don't have a Patreon or anything like that. Don't have time to make extra content.
No, but this way you get something cool.
Yeah,
I think it's cool. I hope it's cool.
I hope they're cool. I think they'll be cool. The last ones were pretty cool. So I think these will be pretty cool. All right, guys. So before we get into talking about The Mandalorian, we've got some unpleasant news that the original Boba Fett actor, Jeremy Bulloch, passed away this week.
Yes.
Age 75. This is the second OT villain we've lost in like a month. We lost David Prowse, and now we've lost Jeremy Bulloch, and it's really sad. I know he did the convention scene.
Yeah.
He was very involved in Star Wars fandom and Doctor Who fandom.
Did he do Hollywood Squares a lot?
I think
he did.
He might have.
I thought he did.
So anyway, yeah, it's very unfortunate. Age 75, the original Boba Fett. And speaking of Boba Fett, the timing was not very good, but it wasn't intentional. No, this wasn't intentional. So now we're starting to get into the spoiler territory here, guys. Speaking of Boba Fett, apparently he's getting his own show.
Finally.
This is probably what the Boba Fett movie would have been or could have been.
Right. They didn't say if it was they just said the Book of Boba Fett. Doesn't mean we don't know if it's a movie or a show. I just said show because I wasn't sure. But it could be a movie, could be a show, but it's called The Book of Boba Fett.
Could that be like the Book of Pooh? Like the
Book of Pooh, yes. I don't think it's well, it's Disney, so
It could be the Book of Pooh. But so there is a post-credit scene, Mandalorian, that apparently Boba Fett is getting his own series. This should not surprise anyone because literally every side character with any popularity at all is getting their own series on Disney Plus.
Yeah, and then people are kind of upset because they're like, does this mean it's a spin-off of The Mandalorian? Which technically The Mandalorian was probably a spin-off of Boba Fett movie. Because we see this with, Ahsoka, and then that, the other one they have coming out.
Rangers of the New Republic.
Yes, that one. So they're worried it's just going to be a spin-off and not its own thing. I can't answer that because we don't know.
We don't know. But there we go, guys. We're getting more Boba Fett. He lives on, even if Mr. Bulloch has passed. So now we're going to get into the meat of the video. Kevin Smith crying.
Oh, God. When does Kevin Smith not cry?
Kevin Smith crying.
Literally, he went and made a video of himself bawling.
Yes.
Just to tag in Jon Favreau and make it about himself.
Yes.
Okay. Are we supposed to be surprised? I mean, it's a day that ends in Y.
I know, right? I don't know.
I mean, a lot of people were very excited or cried about the end of this one for various reasons, and they weren't making videos about their face crying.
So Kevin Smith, he's excited about everything Hollywood puts out these days.
He also cried and said it was a great movie. The sequel trilogy were fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
So
right?
you take it for what you will.
I cried over the sequel trilogy, but not for the reasons Kevin Smith did.
Right.
I was pretty okay with The Force Awakens, but things took a wrong turn at The Last Jedi.
I wasn't. Anyway, but it's like, does he get like a bottle of eye drops right there to like, drip, drip?
This can't be real. This can't be. He can't. Nobody cries on command like this.
I can, but I'm not going to.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
You've got more integrity than that. So anyway, Kevin Smith crying because of that scene. So that's what we're going to talk about. That Lucasfilm is giving fans what they wanted in the sequel trilogy years after they burnt a lot of the bridges with a lot of fans. And we are actually split in our opinion as to whether or not Star Wars can be saved.
That's true. But it was funny this morning. I had a lot of people like Gina. Hello, Gina. And our friend John and some other people. Hi, John. And some other people were writing me and they're like, did you see it? Did you see it? And talking about this is what the sequel trilogy should have been. And everybody on Twitter is going nuts. And it's funny to me because a lot of people on Twitter, of course, are the old fans that were, wanting this to begin with. They're all like excited. But then a bunch of people that were like, white knighting for the sequel trilogy and were like, it's a perfect the way it is. And you're just a bunch of babies. They're all excited about Luke showing up too.
Yeah, so that's a spoiler. Luke Skywalker, as predicted. Now, God,
we knew this was going to happen.
There were articles out there actually on Pirates and Princesses that the rumor was Disney was going to do a deep fake Mark Hamill, young Mark Hamill, and they did it. I don't think deep fake Luke Skywalker could carry a whole show. But the word on the street is they're trying to basically bring back actors from their younger years or bring back actors who have sadly passed away, like Carrie Fisher, and they're trying to get better at this technology. At that point, why even need actors?
Yeah, well,
you just buy.
There was a movie about that once.
Yeah, was it Simone? Was that what it was? Simone? Yeah, you just buy the digital likeness of somebody, and they're your actor, going forward, which Disney would love because you pay them once.
Oh no! If they ever offer you that deal, ask for you want royalties too. Anyway, but yeah, so they put Luke Skywalker in the ending, and they made it Luke Skywalker like Luke Skywalker you'd expect Luke Skywalker to be, not the sad-ass Luke Skywalker you got in the sequel trilogy.
Badass, not sad-ass.
Right. There's the one letter makes all the difference in the world. But, and the letters happen to be BS, which is, ironic. But, yeah, they gave people what they actually wanted. And people were excited and fans are excited. And here's the thing, I did a whole article. Maybe just, hear me out here. Lucasfilm and Disney should have hired people who gave a fuck, sorry mom, to begin with about the Star Wars trilogy, when they were doing the sequel trilogy. Maybe if you got people that cared about it, you wouldn't have had the debacle you ended up with. Yeah,
because it was very clear that the sequel trilogy, at least from where, I'm sitting, it was rushed out. And they did not.
There's no direction, no overarching storyline, nothing.
They're just like, okay, we just paid $4 billion for Star Wars. Let's make a trilogy. Just start filming the first one before we even know. Yeah, we need money.
What should we do for the first one? Let's have a committee meeting. Oh, let's just make A New Hope all over again. And I'm sorry people are like trying to argue with me about this. I don't think Abrams cared that much about it. I think it was more about putting his name on it like we saw with Star Trek.
Yeah.
We obviously know Rian Johnson didn't care about it. All he wanted to do was, subvert expectations and piss all over it and make it his own thing. And then you have this whole new version of Disney storytelling, which is take what people love, demean it, piss on it, whatever, to elevate your new stuff. Because you can't just pass a torch, everybody expected a torch to be passed. You can't just pass it in a nice way. No, you have to put it out, rebuild it, relight it, and then wonder why people don't like it.
Yeah, and you can't relight that torch.
You can't.
And that's where we're split because Geeky still has hope that they can salvage Star Wars.
Well, no. So I love the classics. I don't even mind the prequels. Hate the sequels. I like some of the spin-off ones, the other ones, the standalones. But I think Favreau and Filoni can but Favreau and them could maybe take it in a direction that makes it feels like Star Wars. They're clearly proving they can't. Some of the directors they brought in to work with them clearly get it. They care about where it's going. They care about the fans. That I have hope for. what I don't have hope for is if they keep Kathleen Kennedy in there and we get Headlands crap and all that. But if they could just, put Favreau in charge and care about the fans and care about the material they're working with, we could maybe possibly, have better things moving forward. You're just like, I don't care either way.
Yeah, I mean, this is what's really sad, because Star Wars was my most favorite, like anything in pop culture.
Yeah, it was my favorite too.
For years. And it is so dead to me now that even with Luke Skywalker coming back, even having watched that scene, I felt nothing. I mean, I'm completely dead inside to it. It's like...
You're completely dead inside, oh God.
I am. I'm just like, I felt nothing. I
That's
sure as hell did not feel like...
That's what a lot of people are saying. I think when I put it on Twitter, it's like a lot of people, I think it's too little too late. They're just like we always say, we've said it for years, loving something and hating something are both strong emotions. They're both good things because that means you're passionate, you care enough to love it or hate it. When you have apathy, that's when you have to worry. And a lot of the fandom seems to be apathetic at this point.
Yeah, because here's the thing, it's going to show you firsthand, again, we had ass-kicking Jedi Luke with the green saber, the whole, just like you remember him. What people wanted. If that had been Luke Skywalker's entrance into the sequel trilogy, oh my God, cloaked figure, green lightsaber, shows up to save Rey in the forest at the end of the first movie or something, holy shit, that'd be a hell of an entrance. No. Instead we get, sad sack, Luke, depressing Luke. He doesn't even speak.
In the first movie. Everybody expected in The Force Awakens, Han, Luke, and Leia together again to pass the torch on. And you got Han's dead, Luke doesn't talk, and Leia's, General Leia now, and everything else.
And she sits in a chair for most of it.
Yeah, and it's so you had the opportunity to give fans what they wanted and to, pass the torch on to new characters in a way that people would have accepted. And instead, you ruined it. You ruined your chance. And then we don't even get me started on The Last Jedi. That really just took it to a whole new low. And now the fans have been upset about this for years. And so now they're trying to retroactively fix it with this. And I mean, I'm excited about it. I want to see more good things. I want it to be saved because I care about what happens to it.
It makes me sad because it just shows all the missed opportunity.
Yeah.
If you guys had, like you said, if you'd done this in the first place, but now, a couple things going on here. If they do not retcon now there's a rumor they're going to retcon the sequel trilogy. Mm-hmm. If they don't retcon the sequel trilogy, we still know that this is going to end badly. Mm-hmm. We still know where this character's going. You're seeing him in his prime right now because it's only a few years after Jedi. But we know he's still going to wind up being sad sack Luke, and that's never going to change. And, it drives home you guys could have given us this the first time around and people would have been 110% on board. Mark Hamill wouldn't be out there bitching about it if that was the entrance you gave him.
Well, and I think he tried to tell them this wasn't going to work and they wouldn't listen. Hey, shut up. You're just an actor. What do you know? And then you have Favreau who clearly, is made it very clear in the way when you have interviews with him and just the way he treats people in general, that this is something that matters to him, that he grew up with it, that he cares about it, that it meant something to him. It might be probably important to how he became the directors and stuff he does now. And then he's even treating the fans in a way make sure, we saw it with the Binging with Babbage, make sure you make a version that people can recreate at home because I want the fans to have something they can do. With
the cookies.
Yeah, with the
$50 Mandalorian
right.
cookies.
He's like, I want it to be affordable so the fans can do this. And genuinely just cares and gets it. I'm just like, put him in charge. How hard is this? Why could you not just do that to begin with? I don't understand it. Everybody's been saying this. You had all these people who actually, Star Wars meant a lot to them. A lot of people became actors, directors, whatever, because of Star Wars. And then you hire Daisy Ridley and she never even watched Star Wars before.
Well, we've got people working on, some of the series, and that's the future of Star Wars, I guess, is mostly television. But we've got, Taika Waititi is out there saying that he's, angry at himself for what he's going to do to Star Wars.
Then don't do it.
Then don't do it.
If you as a fan feel like it's wrong and it make you angry, don't effing do it. Disney, if you're gonna let that happen, you're gonna undo all this you just did.
And we've got Leslie Headland out there with the Alkalite and all this other stuff. So it's like one step forward, 5 steps back. I don't think Star Wars can be saved under Disney's stewardship.
Oh, and you better not F and mess with Mara J. Disney. You better not.
Oh, they're totally going to mess with
No,
her.
you
they're
do.
They're going to grope her. They're going to.
I'm going to be kicking your ass because I'm like, do not. And you know what? Get rid of the story group while you're at it, because the story group has this made up a lot. We saw the boarding and that what they're like, oh, what was it, agenda and stuff was over top of
diversity and dinosaurs.
It was over top of like good storytelling.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? We don't need the story group. The story group is nothing but F up Star Wars. Remove the story group.
Well, story group, I think Galaxy's Edge was their brain fart. If they had done Galaxy's Edge as Tatooine, Endor, original trilogy like people wanted, they would have been completely wowed. Instead, people were like, God, this isn't even, it's like budget cut Star Wars. It doesn't even feel like
So what do you see Star Wars, what do you see Disney and Lucasfilm banking on now? Original trilogy and The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
They don't bank on anything else because no one wants the other stuff. What's that tell you? So here's an idea. If you're going to F it up and make like things people aren't going to like and going down roads people aren't going to like, don't do it. You know what? That's just the way it is. And I'm sorry if you don't like it. I'm sorry if you think you're in a position where you should tell fans what they should want. You're not. You're never going to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, can they fix it? I think some people are going to be, I don't know. My feeling on this is Mickey's razzle dazzle. They're like, we're going to give you this, we're going to throw you this bone.
Like they did with the Emperor and, and Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
It was like, and we were there when they released the trailer at Celebration.
Oh, people were flipping out. They were like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Then we actually stopped and thought about it. They're like, wait, how did he come back? Mm-hmm. How did the Emperor come back? He got thrown down a shaft, and then people build up in their minds to be like, it was going to be a much better thing that they were going to get, Hayden Christensen back in it and George Lucas was going to be involved and it turned out to be, a lot of people were considering like the worst movie because it was just a mess, with Rise of Skywalker. And the only reason this is doing okay is, again, Jon Favreau and Filoni giving a shit. But you've got so many people. Like, they've got the Lando series. They have the guy who did Dear White People coming in on Lando. I'm like, that's not going to be political at all.
Because they're pushing agenda and that over good storytelling. And if they come in and they direct it and they do a good job without pushing agenda, then that's great.
Yeah.
But no one wants that. They just want good Star Wars. That's all they want. Star Wars that feels like Star Wars. But that's not that hard. But
here's where I'm so angry about it. And I feel the same with Doctor Who, too.
Yeah, I have no desire to see Doctor Who anymore.
But it's gotten a point where they fuck a franchise up to a certain point where you don't even want to go back and watch the originals anymore. That's my feeling on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even, I used to watch the shit out of my VHS copies of the original trilogy.
As did I.
Yeah. And I went through like 3 different versions because I'd wear the tapes out. I had the original version, I had special edition, I had the re-release before the special edition where it had like the Stormtrooper helmet on.
Well, if Disney wanted to make money, they bring back the original release. Yes.
They own Fox now. They can.
So if they wanted to make some money, they could have done that.
But, it's ruined the whole franchise for me. Like, I don't even, immediately somebody's like, oh, it's a Star Wars, whatever. I'm like, I don't care. Star Wars, I'm out. My brain just shuts off. Same with Doctor Who. Like, I would love to go back and watch, David Tennant, Matt Smith, Tom Baker, Doctor Who, and enjoy it. But I've got that stink of what's going on now and the fact that they retcon the entire history. Mm-hmm. So now I go back and watch those old stories and there are no stakes anymore because it turned out to all be a lie. And that's the same with this. Like, you can bring Luke Skywalker into it, but we still know he's going to be a fucking sad sack, Mm-hmm. You've already, that's his legacy.
See, I separate it. Like, in my mind, I separate it out, and I'm just like, I just pretend that like everybody says 6 movies, I pretend that the Sequel Trilogy doesn't exist, and I move on.
Well, that's kind of what happened with Transformers with me. I had such a negative experience with the Michael Bay movie. It wasn't the movie, it was all the drama surrounding the movie that I actually cut out of Transformer collecting. Mm-hmm. We had thousands of Transformers. Mm-hmm. Like, you will attest, they were taken over the house.
They used to stare at me. I had to clean them. He had a shelf full of them, and it only got cleaned if I did it. They always stare at you.
Megatron, Starscream, especially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I had ponies I had shelves full of ponies, but I cleaned my own ponies. I had to clean your stuff too.
You had to clean Megatron's gun.
I had to clean a lot of things
while Starscream watched.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Anyway, but I like all the drama surrounding it. For me, it ruined my experience with Transformers fandom. And I love Transformers. I'm kind of, now getting back into the G1s and stuff. I sold my entire collection, almost all of it. Now it did help put a down payment on a house.
Right. That was mostly why you did it. But yeah.
But still, I was like, I'm done. I'm not. It's not fun for me anymore, and that's kind of what happened with Star Wars.
Well, you did keep the Pepsi Prime that your son bought you for Christmas one year.
I did. I did keep a couple. I kept Masterpiece Prime from my original collection. I kept Masterpiece Prime and Pepsi Prime, and I wish I would have kept my RID Prime too, because you bought me him.
I did buy you him.
That was before we got married. Yeah, and but like I feel the same about Star Wars and Doctor Who now, where I'm in such a place with it. It's like it's like dead to me. And it's not like to be overly dramatic. I'm not trying to be overly dramatic, but like I can't get excited about anything with these franchises anymore.
Now, see, I can still get excited about Star Wars because I still love classic Star Wars. I love the books. I mean, they all meant a lot to me, and I just pick and choose what I want to stay excited about. So for me, I'm not to the place now where I just can just turn away from it and not love it at all. I just don't like what they've been doing lately, and I'm just going to ignore everything I hate.
Yeah, I wish I could do that. I just can't. I think
I normally can't either, but I'm choosing to here because it means too much to me not to.
I think what happens is because, again, we cover this stuff and we're so like invested in it that it's almost like having somebody cheat on you or something. You're just like, for my own good, I gotta separate from it and be like, that's it. Because if I think about it too much, it's gonna hurt. So,
I'm gonna watch it and then I'm gonna be like, oh my God, guys. I can't believe they did. I'm so good. Favreau saved it. Oh my God, Luke. Yay. Thank you. Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. I don't give a shit anymore. I mean, there's nothing. I still get excited about TV shows and stuff, but I've gotten a point now, and this is where I'm really, I kind of don't like that we do what we do, that we talk about this stuff, the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, it does. It makes you hate things that you loved.
It does, because you know too much about it. Yeah. Like, if you were just a normie and you were going in and be like, oh, Luke Skywalker and R2, that's pretty cool. But knowing that 3 years of behind the scenes drama, 3+ years of Lucasfilm shitting on fans, of the media attacking fans and defending The Last Jedi, all that, to go through all of that only to have them do a 180 and be like, oh, here's the Luke you wanted after all.
Right. Yeah, it's frustrating. And then calling people, and then they let the people attack the fans.
They let people
attack the fans, call them names. Even if you had any legitimate criticism, it didn't matter. It was because you were some bleepity blank, alt-right, whatever. Yeah. And they let their people do that, man, baby tears and all that crap, calling them incels and everything else. And they let them do this for years. And now they're trying to come back and get fans they want. And then the people that were out there, ragging on classic fans too, are out here like, yay, Luke. And I'm like, but you were the one saying it was fine that they ruined Luke. 2 years ago.
That's what pisses me off. Like, you guys were like, oh, Luke's time is over, and we don't want that Luke. This is the best Luke. Sad Luke's the best Luke, you man babies. And then it's like...
They're on Twitter, yay, Luke, woo!
It's like, fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. You busted balls of fans for years, and now you're going to celebrate the Luke that they want. This is all we've been saying for years.
I know.
And I'm sorry, I can't get excited.
Well, it's kind of like that with Disney. After we love Disney, we've gone there for years. But I have to admit, I don't love it as much now as I used to for lots of reasons. But one of the reasons is when you do it as your job and you cover the stuff and you have to talk about and look into the things that aren't what you want to hear. It makes you like not look at it the same way. And you kind of sometimes wish you could look at it the same way, but you can't. You can't go back.
Yeah, you can't.
Another controversial opinion, R2-D2 is far better than BB-8. I'm sorry. Fight me. I don't care. R2-D2 was always better than BB-8. That's just the way it is.
BB-8 was designed to sell toys.
And definitely better than Dio.
Oh, God. I forgot all about Dio. It's me, Dio.
And it's like Bio. And R2-D2, when they brought the toys out last year, they had those ones that moved. They had BB-8, R2, and Dio, and they sold R2s immediately. They didn't have as many, of course. They sold those. Those were first thing gone. Then they got BB-8s eventually, sold out. There wasn't that many of them either. But they had tons of those Dios, and no one wanted them. And they cleared them up for like $3.
Yeah, he's a dumb-looking droid.
But even then, R2 was the one that sold it first, because that's what everybody wanted. So, I mean, Disney's now just a little too late. You're just now getting on it. You should have just let Favreau be in charge. You doubled down and Kennedy's still there.
Yeah, she's not going anywhere.
So, I mean, where I'm happy about this, I'm also, where you're completely like, what the hell, why bother? I'm like hoping that it gets better, but we'll see.
You can't change it. Because, right, like I said, they had opportunities to do this with the sequel trilogy. Even if they would retcon it or whatever, you're not going to get Carrie Fisher back.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, moving forward, we never going to get Obi's Angels and all that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think it's just, it's easier to not give a shit than to get angry about it at this point.
Or
like,
to care and be disappointed over and over again.
Because this is like, we're being thrown a bone, but trust me, there's a whole landslide of shit coming down the pipeline, I think. And it depends on who's doing it. Favreau's in charge of this one. Again, we've got, Leslie Headland, okay, and we got the guy who did Dear White People in charge of...
Leslie Headland, too. I mean, they had to flip and go behind the Bob's backs and leak it to Variety or Hollywood Reporter or whichever one it was to try to get it out there to try to be able to make sure that they couldn't take it away without looking like getting called names, saying you're against women and lesbians, and that's what they do, totally. But the fans weren't really down with it. They were like, not looking forward to this one. But if you don't like it, then you're some kind of istinophobe. Meanwhile, we can totally ruin all gingers ever with Disney, and that's okay. That's allowed. So
I think at this point, Star Wars just feels like another hit or miss sci-fi franchise for me. It used to be an event. It used to be like, oh my God, there's like everybody else, and then there's Star Wars. Like Star Wars was so heads and tails, so far above every other fandom, every other franchise, and now it's no better than a Netflix show.
When they released the special editions, I was always one of those first in line for those. But beyond that, I'd go see movies I didn't want to see just so I could watch the trailer for the special editions.
Yeah, no, I did. Independence Day, they had the trailer.
Well, it was a good movie though, but it was like they have the part, and I'd bawl about. I actually would cry on that. It's like I'm a Jedi like my father before me, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And I was at every one of those releases. That was before you could buy tickets ahead, and I was like the first, second person in line every time, and I stood there all day waiting to go see those and everything else. And now I haven't even watched Rise of Skywalker.
I took off work to wait in line for Phantom Menace tickets.
I skipped class. To go to the movies.
And I was just like, I did but 2 days. I had a day where I stood in line to get tickets, and I took off a day to get in line so I could be in the front row for the Phantom Menace.
Why do you want to be in the front row?
So I could look up Ewan McGregor's nostrils, I guess. I don't know. I expected more. But it was an event.
I don't care what movie it is. I wouldn't want to sit in the front row. I mean,
but it was an event, and it's not. It never will be. Now it's just TV. I mean, it might be good TV, but it's just like every other franchise now. And
you kind of do lose something with it. Like, when you go to the theater and we went to see the movies, even if they turned out to be sucky sequels, people there that were always really excited. And, we saw with Rogue One and everything else.
Yeah.
And it was like a lot of energy and excitement.
Oh, and Vader shows up in Rogue One. Yeah, people went nuts. Could you imagine if they had that Luke Skywalker scene, in the Force Awakens or something? That would have been amazing.
Everybody was waiting for it.
Yeah.
Everybody was waiting for that moment because they alluded to it in the commercial. So you thought you were going to get it. We're home. Oh my God. Yes, I'm so excited. I would cry over the commercials.
There were theories that, because they never did show that scene in the movie where they're in the woods on Starkiller Base and Kylo Ren, has the cloak on, and then you see him with the saber. There were rumors that it was actually Luke Skywalker. They just changed the saber to be Kylo Ren's to throw people off. And they're like, Luke's going to show up at the very end and kick some ass. And that's what people expected. And it didn't happen.
Yeah, because that's what everybody wanted.
Yeah.
And it was just heartbreaking. Because I remember at the time, that was when you were laid off, I actually scraped together money to get tickets. It was a treat. We were going to go see that movie, remember?
Yeah.
And we didn't have hardly anything then. And I scraped together money to buy the tickets, advance tickets, and surprise the kids and you that we were going to go see it. Because we were so excited. And trust me, I was more excited than I was. And then we went to see Force Awakens. And the kids, they liked it okay. I was like, what the hell did I just pay for? But I'm like, to be that dedicated to go to the lengths I went to get there and then to have it turn out what it is now, it just breaks my heart. So I'm hoping, I want to believe, I feel like, Mulder, I want to believe, Scully, I want to believe, but
Yeah, I'm to the point, the only way I can, I just have to be numb to it. Because that way I can't really get... I'm beyond getting angry about Star Wars anymore. I'm just like, we lost. Star Wars is lost. We'll get thrown a bone here or there, but it's lost. As long as Disney has it, it's a lost franchise. Doctor Who is lost. They can try to unscrew it, but the only way they could completely fix Doctor Who at this point, I think, is just hit the reset button and start over with a new Doctor number 1. and just say that was old Doctor Who, this is new Doctor Who.
They keep doing that with things and it ruins it worse.
I don't even know what to do.
So anyway.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up. This did go longer than we thought it was going to, but it's sad. I feel like this is sort of like, I don't know. It's bittersweet. It's like, yeah, you're just too late.
I'm glad they're trying. I'm glad people like Favreau care. I just think that they needed to have someone that cared from the beginning. Yeah, and you can't put the genie back in the bottle. You can't fix the fandom that's so jaded. I mean, you can't fix stupid.
Look, there are gonna be people that love Star Wars no matter how shitty it is,
Right, and that's cool. You know what?
It's fine. I'm happy for you.
Exactly. I would not wish how I feel on anyone. No. So I'm like, if it makes you happy and you still like it, I mean, I don't agree with you, but I'm happy that you still can have that feeling, and that's awesome. I would wish that on people. I wouldn't wish how Kneon feels, especially where you don't even care at all. And I feel sad all the time about it, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. So
yeah, so we're going to wrap this one up. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.